Hello and welcome to Mastermind with me, Clive Myrie. In the spotlight tonight are Kit Lane, a graphic designer, who will be answering questions on the English actress and mistress of King Charles II, Nell Gwyn. Lillian Crawford, a freelance writer whose specialist subject is the American author and poet Sylvia Plath. Catherine Howells, a group operations manager. Her subject is the Scottish television sitcom Still Game. And Mary Evans, a primary school teacher. Her subject, the island of Sicily. There is no prize money on Mastermind, but that's not why our contenders are here. You see, they already have a wealth of knowledge, and what better way to flaunt it, make the neighbours green with envy, than win the priceless Mastermind glass bowl. For a place in the semi-finals, tonight's contenders must overcome their nerves for 2 minutes of specialist subject questions and 2.5 minutes of general knowledge. We wish them all the very best of luck. So, let's have our first contender, please. And your name?
Kit Lane.
And your occupation?
Graphic designer.
And your specialist subject?
Nell Gwyn.
The English actress who was one of the many mistresses of King Charles II. In 2 minutes. Here we go. The elder of Nell Gwyn's 2 sons with Charles II was Charles Beauclerc, who, in 1684, was elevated to what dukedom created for him by the king?
St Albans.
Yes. What was the name of the manager of the King's Company, for which Gwyn was later a player, who received a royal patent dated 25th of April, 1662, which decreed that all the women's parts should be played by women?
Thomas Killigrew.
Yes. In which comedy by James Howard did Gwyn and her real-life lover, Charles Hart, play Philidor and Merida?
All Mistaken.
Yes. What's the name of the character played by Gwyn in a 1667 production of Secret Love, about which Samuel Pepys wrote, "There is a comical part done by Nell that I never can hope ever to see the like done again"?
Florimel.
Yes. Which member of the so-called merry gang of wits, with his friend Charles Sedley, temporarily tempted Gwyn away from her career in the theatre with the promise of a holiday in Epsom and £100 a year?
Charles Lord Buckhurst.
Yes. On her first supper date at a tavern with King Charles and his brother, what reportedly prompted Gwyn to say, "This is the poorest company I ever was in"?
The king didn't have any money with him.
She had to pay the bill, yes. Which servant of King Charles, who held the title Keeper of the Privy Closet, became a good friend to Gwyn and ensured that she had access to the king?
William Chaffinch.
Yes, or Chiffinch. Which character did Gwyn play in Dryden's epic The Conquest of Grenada, when she returned to the stage after the birth of her first son?
Almahide.
Yes. In her will, how much did Gwyn specify was to be given to poor Catholics in order to show my charity to those who differ from me in religion?
£50.
Yes. What was the name of the king's French mistress and Gwyn's chief rival, whom she nicknamed Cartwheel, a play on her name?
Louise de Querouaille.
Yes. What was the name of the clergyman, the future Bishop of Bath and Wells, who refused to have a woman of Gwyn's reputation to stay at his home when Charles was visiting Winchester?
Thomas Ken.
Yes. What household item useful for winter nights did Gwyn order for her house at 79 Pall Mall and have engraved with the words, "Fear God, serve the King"?
Oh, a teapot.
No, it was a warming pan. Just before he died in 1685. I've started, so I'll finish. King Charles was reportedly about to make Gwyn a countess of which area, now a London borough?
Greenwich.
Yes. And Kit, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got 12 points.
Thank you very much.
And our next contender, please. And your name?
Lillian Crawford.
And your occupation?
Freelance writer.
And your specialist subject?
Sylvia Plath.
The American poet born in Boston in 1932, who later lived in England. In 2 minutes. Starting now, at high school in Massachusetts, Plath impressed her English teacher, Wilbury Crockett, with her poetry. In particular, one poem entitled, "I Thought That I Could Not Be What?"
Pass.
Which American literary magazine published a number of Plath's poems, including in 1955, Circus in 3 Rings, for which she was paid $25?
Mademoiselle.
No, The Atlantic. After she graduated from Smith College in 1955, Plath moved to the UK to study at which college at the University of Cambridge?
Newnham.
Yes, in Plath's novel, The Bell Jar, what's the full name of the wealthy novelist who provides the heroine, Esther Greenwood, with a scholarship?
Olive Higgins Prouty.
No, Philomena Guinea. Which of Plath's poems, written after she'd first met her future husband, the poet Ted Hughes, and dedicated to him, did she say is about the dark forces of lust?
Pursuit.
Yes, Plath's poem for a birthday is divided into 7 sections, the 7th and final section set in a hospital, having what title?
Witch burning.
No, The Stones. What was the name of the house in Devon, which Plath and Hughes bought in 1961 while she was pregnant with her son Nicholas, and where she wrote the poem The Moon and the Yew Tree?
Pass.
Which poem that begins, "What a thrill, my thumb instead of an onion," was written by Plath on the 24th of October 1962 and was dedicated to her nanny, Susan O'Neill Rowe?
Cut.
Yes, in December 1962, after her separation from Hughes, Plath moved with her 2 children into a building where the poet W.B. Yeats had once lived in Wych Road in Primrose Hill.
Fitzroy Street.
Yes, Fitzroy Road. Following Plath's death in February 1963, she was buried in the churchyard of the parish church in which Yorkshire village?
Hapleston.
No, Heptonstall. In the bell jar, Plath uses what type of fruit tree to illustrate the indecision of the narrator, Esther Greenwood, each fruit on the tree representing a different life choice faced by her?
Fig.
Yes, which poem that ends, "It was my love that did us both to death," did Plath write after her first visit to the grave of her father?
A lecture on Azalea Park.
Yes, 2 collections of Plath's poetry, I've started so I'll finish, were published in the UK in 1971. One book was entitled Winter Trees. What's the title of the other?
Crossing the Water.
Yes. And Lillian, you had just 2 passes. What was the name of the house in Devon, which Plath and Hughes bought in 1961? It was Court Green. And she impressed her English teacher with her poetry. And one poem in particular, "I Thought That I Could Not Be Hurt." And at the end of that round, Lillian, you've scored 7 points.
Thank you.
And our next contender, please. And your name?
Catherine Howells,
Your occupation?
Group Operations Manager.
And your specialist subject?
Still game.
Yeah, the sitcom starring Ford Kiernan and Greg Hemphill as the Glaswegian pensioners Jack Jarvis and Victor McDade. In 2 minutes. Starting now, in the first episode, Jack tests the peephole in his new flat by pretending to be a bogus caller with what job?
Gasman.
Yes, in Series 1, Jack buys a doormat from which of his friends, only to discover the greeting on it has been misspelled as Welcome.
Winston.
Yes, in the episode Big Ian, Jack and Victor enlist their friend Innes to help tackle local street crime, but Innes outstays his welcome when he smashes up the Klansman pub after drinking a full bottle of what liqueur?
Midori.
Yes, in Fly Society, Jack and Victor pretend that they've made a fortune in the beetroot business to impress female guests at a lavish party and claim to own a property to the east of what African city?
Mombasa.
Yes, Winston is caught in the betting office by his home help, played by Celia Imrie, dancing and singing the name of which horse after his winning bet?
Scotch Corner.
Yes, in the episode Hyper, the notoriously stingy Tam Mullen becomes unusually generous after he's electrocuted while trying to fix what household appliance?
Toaster.
Yeah, what was the name of Victor's late wife, who is played by Jennifer Black in the episode The Party?
Betty.
Yes, external shots of Jack and Victor's building, Osprey Heights, were filmed in Colina Street, in what area of North Glasgow that shares its name with a nearby major road?
Pass.
When the Osprey Heights flats are to be demolished, Jack, Victor and Isa temporarily move into supposedly luxury accommodation, which turns out to be a draconian care home run by Mrs. Fletcher. What's the name of the home?
Oh, pass.
In Over the Hill, Isa goes charity daft, donating £250 a month to animal charities before her boss, Naveed, intervenes. She first became hooked after sponsoring creatures called Madagascan what?
Parakeets.
No, lovebirds. Which actor, who makes a cameo appearance as a phone salesman in Series 9, presented the show with a Scottish BAFTA in 2019, describing it as the best Scottish TV show ever made?
Martin Compston.
Yes, when a property developer, I've started so I'll finish, buys the Klansman pub in Series 4, he briefly gives it what new name after his mother?
Jenny's.
Yes, it was Jenny's. And Catherine, you had just 2 passes. When the Osprey Heights flats are to be demolished, Jack, Victor and Isa temporarily move into supposedly luxury accommodation, and it's called Braemar Care Home. And external shots of Jack and Victor's building, Osprey Heights, were filmed at the area of North Glasgow known as Mary Hill. And at the end of that, Catherine, you've got 9 points. And our final contender, please. And your name?
Mary Evans,
And your occupation?
primary school teacher.
And your specialist subject?
The island of Sicily.
The largest island in the Mediterranean Sea and one of Italy's most distinctive regions. In 2 minutes, starting now, what name referring to the time of day at which it began is given to the 1282 uprising by native Sicilians against King Charles I of Anjou?
Mezzogiorno.
No, the Sicilian Vespers, according to the Acts of the Apostles in the New Testament, who landed at Syracuse in Sicily, staying for 3 days after he and his companions had been shipwrecked off the coast of Malta.
St. Paul.
Yes, the Trinacria, the symbol of Sicily, with 3 bent running legs, is said to represent Cape Peloro, Cape Passaro, and which other cape?
Cape Messina.
No, Cape Lilibeo. What name is given to the unfermented grape must blended with an alcoholic spirit used to fortify Marsala wine after fermentation?
Mostello.
No, Mistella. What prominent geographical feature in Sicily is known locally as Mongibello?
Mount Etna.
Yes, the Greeks of Syracuse defeated the Carthaginians in which battle fought in northern Sicily in 480 BC?
Battle of Lepanto.
No, Battle of Himera, a collection of poetry entitled The Incomparable Earth, published in 1958, is a work by which Sicilian-born poet who won the Nobel Prize in Literature the following year?
Quasimodo.
Yes, which defensive watchtower in the port city of Trapani, built in 1671 and used as a military garrison until 1862, was later converted into that city's civic museum?
Massana.
No, Torre de Ligny, which limestone massif in the Madonie Mountains is the second highest point in Sicily after Mount Etna, rising to almost 6,500 feet above sea level.
Mount Carbonara.
Yes, which natural lake, one of very few in Sicily, is encircled by a motor racing track which hosted a non-championship Formula One race in the 1960s?
Pergusa.
Yes, which town and UNESCO World Heritage Site in southeastern Sicily that was hit by a severe flood in 1902 is known for its Aztec-inspired chocolate?
Modica.
Yes, and at the end of that round, you had no passes and 6 points. And at the end of the specialist subjects round, let's have a look at the scores. In 4th place with 6 points, it's Mary. In 3rd place with 7 points, it's Lillian. In 2nd place with 9 points comes Catherine. And in 1st place with 12 points, it's Kit. So now the general knowledge round. And if there's a tie at the end, then the number of passes is taken into account and the person with the fewer passes is the winner. And if they're tied on passes as well, it's a tie break. So let's ask Mary to join us again, please. So Mary, you start with 6 points. You've now got 2.5 minutes of general knowledge. Starting now, Barnes Bridge, Kew Bridge and the Albert Bridge all span which English river?
Thames.
Yes, in a novel by Thomas Hardy, the stonemason Jude Fawley is described in the title as Jude the what?
Obscure.
Yes, Minsk is the capital city of which Eastern European country?
Ukraine.
No, Belarus. Orson Welles and Prince Ali Khan were 2 of the 5 husbands of which American actress who danced with Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly in a number of film musicals of the 1940s?
Rita Hayworth.
Yes, in 2021, the Czech tennis player Barbora Krejcikova won her 1st Grand Slam singles title and her 6th Grand Slam doubles title at which tournament?
The French Open.
Yes, the Scottish outlaw known as Rob Roy, immortalised in an 1817 novel by Sir Walter Scott, was a member of which clan?
The McRae.
No, McGregor. Although it's spelt differently, the name of what dessert made from ice cream, fruit and nuts sounds the same as a day of the week?
Sunday.
Yes, the title of the television series Mad Men is a reference to the advertising executives of which famous street in Manhattan?
Wall Street.
No, Madison Avenue. The walking pilgrimage across Spain, sometimes known as the Camino de Santiago, leads to the reputed burial place of which saint?
St. James.
Yes, according to the lyrics of a song first published in 1922 and later recorded by Bing Crosby, nothing could be finer than to be where?
Carolina.
Yes, which French artist painted the work Old Women of Arles in 1888 while he was living in that city with Vincent van Gogh?
Cézanne.
No, Paul Gauguin. Natalie Portman made her feature film debut in what 1994 drama, playing a young girl who is looked after by an assassin after her parents are killed?
Black Swan.
No, Leon. In chemistry, the abbreviation STP stands for standard temperature and what?
Pressure.
Yes, a high, close-fitting, rolled-over collar on a sweater that's known in North America as a turtleneck is known by what sport-related name in the UK?
Polo.
Yes, the British overseas territory of St. Helena, Ascension and Tristan da Cunha is in which ocean?
Indian.
No, the Atlantic Ocean. Caribou is a North American term for what species of deer?
A reindeer.
Yes, which nightclub in Harlem, New York, had Duke Ellington as its resident bandleader from 1927 to 1931?
The Cotton Club.
Yes, Burslem, Fenton and Tunstall are 3 of the 6 towns that were amalgamated into a county borough in 1910 and would later form which English city?
Staffordshire.
No, Stoke-on-Trent. In the 1967 film The Graduate of Start to Sew Off Finish, which actress plays Mrs. Robinson, the older woman who seduces the title character played by Dustin Hoffman?
Anne Bancroft.
Yes. And Mary, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've got a total of 18 points. And next up, can we have Lillian again, please? So, Lillian, you start with 7 points. The score to beat, as it stands, is 18 points. You've got 2.5 minutes of general knowledge starting now. What's the usual collective term for eating utensils, such as knives, forks and spoons, and is derived from a French word for a knife?
Cutlery.
Yes, human skin consists of 3 layers of tissue. What's the name of the outermost layer?
Epidermis.
Yes, what's the first name of the musician and songwriter who is the son of John Lennon and Yoko Ono?
Pass.
Which political leader was the intended target of a failed bomb plot led by Colonel Klaus von Stauffenberg and codenamed Valkyrie, which took place in Rastenburg in July 1944?
Adolf Hitler.
Yes, in December 2019, Mikel Arteta was appointed as head coach of which London football club?
Chelsea.
No, Arsenal. What's the first name of the investment manager who married the future Prime Minister Theresa May in 1980?
Pass.
The Ubangi, the Sangha and the Kasai are among the main tributaries of which major river of Central Africa?
Nile.
No, the River Congo. In which television series first shown in 1969 did Frankie Howard play the Roman slave Lurcio?
Up Pompeii.
Yes, what type of dumpling, usually made with flour, semolina and potato, has a name that's derived from the Italian word for knot in wood?
Bow.
No, gnocchi. Which figure skater who won a gold medal for Norway at 3 consecutive Winter Olympics also became a Hollywood actress in the 1930s and 40s and starred in films such as 1 in a Million and Sun Valley Serenade?
Greta Garbo.
No, Sonia Henney. What large breed of dog is sometimes referred to in the UK as an Alsatian?
German Shepherd.
Yes, the most common form of anemia is caused by a deficiency of which metallic element?
Iron.
Yes, what's the name of the ship in which Captain Ahab goes in search of the white whale in the Herman Melville novel Moby Dick?
Pass.
Which American singer had a UK #1 single in June 2020 entitled Rain on Me, a collaboration with Ariana Grande?
Pass.
The murderers Burke and Hare, who sold the bodies of their victims to the anatomist Robert Knox, operated in the 1820s in which British city?
Birmingham.
No, Edinburgh. The word visible means able to be seen. What corresponding word from the Latin for to hear means able to be heard?
Audible.
Yes, Christmas Island, just south of Java in the Indian Ocean, is a territory of which Commonwealth country?
Australia.
Yes, what's the title of the comic strip first published in 1989, which is named after its lead character, a disillusioned mid-level corporate worker created by the American cartoonist Scott Adams?
Superman.
No, Dilbert. At the start of films made by the Rank Organisation, a bare-chested man strikes what percussion instrument?
Gong.
Yes, which chart-topping rock trio formed in Dublin in 2007 by Daniel O'Donoghue, Mark Sheehan and Glenn Power have had UK #1 albums entitled Science and Faith, Freedom Child and Sunsets and Full Moons? It's the script. And Lillian, you had 4 other passes. The American singer who had a UK #1 single entitled Rain on Me, a collaboration with Ariana Grande, Lady Gaga. And the name of the ship in which Captain Ahab goes in search of Moby Dick, that's Pequod. Phillips, the first name of the investment banker who married the future Prime Minister, Theresa May. And the first name of the musician and songwriter, who's the son of John Lennon and Yoko, Sean. And at the end of that round, Lillian, you now have 16 points.
Thank you.
Next up is Catherine. So, Catherine, you start with 9 points. The score to beat, as it stands, is 18 points. You've got 2.5 minutes on general knowledge, starting now. What word meaning great pleasure follows Turkish in an English name for a jelly-like sweet dusted with icing sugar?
Delight.
Yes. Which American rapper had UK #1 albums entitled Graduation in 2007 and Yeezus in 2013?
Kanye West.
Yes. The name of which Polish dance is a French word for Polish?
Polka.
No, Polonaise. Which English royal residence was rebuilt for the future King Edward VII and his wife Alexandra after the existing property was demolished?
Oh, pass.
What's the surname of the racing drivers Mick, who made his Formula One debut in Bahrain in March 2021, and his father Michael, a former multiple world champion in the same sport?
Schumacher.
Yes. Which American actor born in Mexico won Oscars for his roles in the 1952 film Viva Zapata and the 1956 biopic Lust for Life, and gave memorable performances in Lawrence of Arabia and Zorba the Greek?
Pass.
The Hindu goddess Durga is usually depicted with several pairs of arms and riding on either a lion or which other animal?
Elephant.
No, tiger. What do the letters DSO stand for in the name of the British military decoration instituted in 1886?
Oh, pass.
Which 19th century UK Prime Minister had the nickname Dizzy?
Dizzy Gillespie. No, oh,
No, Benjamin Disraeli. In 1996, the Indian city of Madras officially adopted what new name?
Madras. Pass.
The author Henry Williamson won the Hawthornden Prize in 1928 for a novel about a character named Tarka, who is what animal?
The otter.
Yes. Which Spanish golfer won his first major title with victory in the 2021 US Open at Torrey Pines?
Pass.
Which Welsh city's international airport is about 10 miles southwest of the city near the village of Roos in the Vale of Glamorgan?
Cardiff.
Yes. In which television crime drama series did John Nettles play DCI Tom Barnaby from 1997 until 2011?
Midsummer Murders.
Yes. What plant genus, sometimes known as the sword lily, has a name derived from the Latin word for sword?
Gladiola.
Yes. What was the first name of the youngest child of Queen Victoria and Prince Albert, who was born in 1857 and later married Prince Henry of Battenberg?
Ooh. Louisa?
No, Beatrice. The adjectives stannic and stannous refer to the presence of what metal?
Steel?
No, tin. What 2021 film adapted from a stage musical written by Lin-Manuel Miranda stars Anthony Ramos as a small shop owner from the Dominican Republic living in New York City?
Pass.
It's In the Heights. So, Catherine, you had 5 other passes. Spanish golfer who won his first major in 2021, John Rahm. 1996, the Indian city of Madras officially adopted the name Chennai. DSO, it stands for Distinguished Service Order.
Of course.
Lust for Life, Viva Zapata. Zorba the Greek, Lawrence of Arabia. It's Anthony Quinn. And Sandringham House was the new home of King Edward VII when the former royal residence was rebuilt. And at the end of that round, Catherine, you've got 16 points.
Thank you.
And finally, let's have Kit again, please. So, Kit, you start with 12 points, the score to beat to get through to the semi-finals. Mary's 18 points, and you've now got 2.5 minutes of general knowledge. Let's go. The adjective lunar refers to what celestial body?
The moon.
Yes. What's the surname of the British acting dynasty that includes Michael, born in 1908, his children Vanessa, Corinne and Lynn, and his granddaughter Gemma?
Redgrave.
Yes. Bratislava is the capital city of which country in Central Europe?
Slovakia.
Yes. The aristocratic private detective Lord Peter Wimsey, the protagonist of a series of novels, was created by which author?
Tom Brown.
No, Dorothy L. Sayers. What's the name of the cartoon woodpecker with a memorable loud laugh created by the American animator Walter Lantz in 1940?
Woody.
Yes. What name from a Greek word for congealed is given to the water-soluble carbohydrate present in the cell walls of ripe fruit that's commonly used as a setting agent in jam making?
Cellulose?
No, pectin. The architect Hector Grumar is known for the Art Nouveau-style entrances he designed for more than 140 stations on which European city's underground railway system?
Moscow?
No, Paris. The Appaloosa, characterised by its spotted coat, is a North American breed of what domesticated animal?
Cat?
No, horse. Which Tudor monarch was faced with rebellions that attempted to put the pretenders Lambert Simnel and Perkin Warbeck on the throne?
Edward VI?
No, Henry VII. What 1987 film, written and directed by John Boorman, is a semi-autobiographical account of his childhood experiences growing up in London during the Blitz?
The War?
No, Hope and Glory, the cricket tournament held in August and September 2020 as a replacement for the abandoned county championship, was named after which former England captain who died the previous year?
Both them.
No, Bob Willis. In the British Army, what officer rank is above lieutenant and below major?
Captain?
Yes. In October 2020, a judge named Amy Coney Barrett was confirmed by the US Senate and sworn in as the 9th member of which American judicial body?
The Senate?
No, the Supreme Court. In the name of the genetic material commonly known as DNA, the letter A stands for what word?
Acid?
Yes. What was the stage name of the singer and guitarist John Mellor, who was a founder member of the punk band The Clash?
Johnny Rotten?
No, Joe Strummer. Which North African country was declared a republic soon after its monarch, King Farouk, was forced to abdicate and go into exile in 1952?
Egypt?
Yes. What word for a regular wage paid to an employee comes from the Latin for salt and originally referred to a Roman soldier's allowance to buy salt?
Salary?
Yes. The famous fresco completed in 1512, known as the Creation of Adam, depicting God reaching out to a reclining Adam, was painted by which Florentine Renaissance artist?
Michelangelo?
Yes. And Kit, you had no passes, and at the end of that round, you've done it. A total of 21 points.
Thank you very much.
So let's have a look at our final scores. In joint third place with 16 points, Lillian and Catherine. In second place with 18 points, it's Mary. And in first place with 21 points comes Kit, which means that she goes through to the semi-finals. Congratulations to her. If you would like to be a contender in the next series, please go to our website, bbc.co.uk/mastermind, and you can follow us at Mastermind Quiz. Join us again next time for more Masterminds. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
There was a bit of a comfort, a bit of a fallback, knowing that I was in the lead from specialists, but there was still the pressure that I could completely fall on my face now. You have to keep a cool head, don't get too cocky. Woody?
Yes.
Acid?
Yes.
Michelangelo?
Yes.
I am delighted. I can't tell you how happy I am to have won.